The concept of vampires, I suppose it all depends on what you believe they are. If you believe they're a physical person that comes back from the dead in a reanimated corpse like the Hollywood way, or if you think they're more of an astral energy of devouring, it's grown to the point that some people desire them.
I think everyone somewhere deep down inside wants to believe that when we die it's not the end. The idea that if we die, that we cease to exist, it's really hard to swallow.
The HBO series True Blood sparked the resurrection of a new generation of vampires in 2008, those that emerge in society and coexist among the mortals. It sparked a revival in vampire entertainment and helped showcase the blood drinkers to millions of viewers. In real life, there are people all over the world who actually consider themselves to be living vampires, many of whom live in and visit New Orleans, Louisiana, which has long been the iconic locale of vampire culture. Everyone on the streets of New Orleans told me I had to talk to Anne Rice, the author of the wildly popular novel Interview with the Vampire, which launched a massive book series and a film starring Brad Pitt and Tom Cruise. Anne can't walk half a block without people stopping her and praising her work. Many say she created the modern vampire, therefore helping to inspire the series True Blood. What do you think is so appealing about the vampire?
Oh, he's the ultimate outsider. He's the ultimate metaphor for us. You know, somebody that's monstrous and human, immortal yet vulnerable in ways that mortal people are. He's a predator just as all of us are predators. He's a great metaphor for talking about our own alienation and our own fear of death.
Do you fear death?
Of course. We all feel immortal after all. We don't, walk down the street thinking, I am going to die and this body is going to decay. If we think about that, we go crazy. And I think when we write and talk about vampires, we're talking about ourselves.
How would you describe the Anne Rice vampire?
He's a lady or gentleman of the world, usually very well dressed, a sensualist or romantic, a bit of a dandy, loves classical music, Baroque music, world music, loves the capitals of the world.
And how does that vampire compare to those that you see in True Blood?
I think that they're more into domesticating the vampire. Guy next door, the boy next to you in class. Vampires that have integrated themselves into society. I've always seen my vampires as heroes and loners and people that don't want to be integrated into human life at all, really.
How would I recognize one of your vampires in society?
You wouldn't. They would be too clever. They would keep to the shadows, and they would not probably engage with you because they wouldn't want attention necessarily. They'd be more interested in observing you and what was around you. If they were hunting and thirsty, they might come up to you and smile and just pass close to you, and you'd feel a little nip on the back of your neck and turn around, but it'd be over. And of course, I'm being facetious when I say they're real and they live in the world. They live in my imagination. But there are people around who claim to know vampires.
There are people
vampirologists and so forth, and it's kind of fun.
One such group is the Sabretooth Clan. So while in New Orleans, I met up with some of their members to learn what exactly it means to be a living vampire.
I became a vampire about 3 years ago, though I can't say that I ever was not a vampire. I think I always knew that I was.
J'ai rencontré Fabio Sebastian à Paris il y a très très longtemps. Je suis l'un des plus vieux vampires pour lui. I respect people who want to become a vampire because they have a goal in their life.
The process of becoming a living vampire, reading the books is a big step to learning what it is that you're capable of. I just was able to hone what it is that I was about 3 years ago when I met Father Sebastian.
He just made it real. So he made the fangs and made the books that you could actually live like it.
They all praise their charismatic leader, Father Sebastian, in kind of a creepy, culty way. Father Sebastian apparently started the group over 20 years ago and has now grown it to thousands of members in over 20 countries. He's also a dentist at a normal dental office, which helps qualify him as an expert fangsmith. In True Blood, a vampire who transforms a human into one of them is called a maker, But to join Father Sebastian's clan, you don't need to get bitten. You just need to pay him $100 for some fangs. So I booked an appointment, less so to get fangs, more so to figure out who this guy is.
She can't talk right now, but this is what we call sitting there holding her lips up, all the teeth dry. I'll take these off. All right, tilt your head down. Tilt your head down. All right, I'm gonna rip your tooth off. You don't want that.
God.
All right.
Oh, scary.
Yeah. My name is Father Sebastian. I'm a master fangsmith, and I own the company Sabretooth, and we make custom-made fangs. I've been doing this for about 20 years, and from Sabretooth, I've spawned off a couple other businesses, including Endless Night Vampire Ball, which is a worldwide movement of vampire events. Someone goes to me, getting fangs doesn't make you a vampire. I disagree. I think like any tribal rite, it's very much the opposite. I think it makes you connect and identify with all of the mythology and then bring it to a really tangible format.
I went through my rite of the mirror and got my fangs done. From the time I get up to the time I go to bed, my fangs are in, no matter who I'm talking to, what I'm doing, or where I'm going.
There's kind of like a culture to Endless Night. And between the Sabretooth Fang clients that I have and the social network that they come up with, like almost a clan.
Yeah.
Okay, I travel around the world making fangs, and I put people through a ceremony called the White Rite, the Rite of Transformation.
Okay.
And this is the introduction to being in my clan of vampires. All right, you ready to look in the mirror?
Yeah.
Okay, she's gonna look in the mirror, and we call this the Rite of the Mirror. All right, you ready? Go ahead.
That looked pretty good.
And if you understand the psychology of what it's like to be an illusionist, like Harry Houdini or David Copperfield, and that thrill of doing a magic trick for somebody.
Yeah.
All my fang clients feel that all the time they're wearing their fangs. Fangs are awesome, awesome sex toys. Okay, people love to kiss with them. The empowerment of the vampire is what people want from it. So what happens is that sexual that empowerment leads to a sexual liberation.
Okay.
And and fangs are freaking sexy.
I didn't feel the thrill, and I wasn't really into his sex talk, but I did want to know if blood drinking was really a thing.
Oh, what do you make of the blood drinkers? Because they do exist, they're out there.
I think blood drinking is, in reality, if you do it in your bedroom with your lover, and you're both tested, and it's a kinky fetish, that's awesome, okay, in regards to you can't get closer. But if you think that you need to live off blood, okay, and it's beyond a fetish or beyond a bonding tool, I think I think you're turning it into, for feeding purposes. Vampires vibe off life force.
Yeah.
Okay, they want to have the energy. Blood, completely, the energy that you get from blood when it enters your body is dead. There's no way to feed off that energy.
Right.
It's a quick high, and then you get all these risks. STDs, bloodborne diseases,
right.
The criminal element, the cannibalistic element, okay? So there are people, the blood drinkers, I don't affiliate with, I stay away from.
Yeah.
With the exception of ones that are in monogamous couples, and they do it as a bonding thing, not a consumption of life force. Life force should be just absorbed by living well.
Yeah.
And feeding is living. You know, when we feed off life, we're feeding off life. I mean, it's like we're having a great time, and our events are about amplifying that energy and sharing it.
That sounded kind of insane, so I asked if I could go to one of his events and meet some of his followers who fly from around the world once a year for his Endless Night event, and of course, to feed off each other's energy.
Well, I'm a living vampire and have been involved in the scene for about 11 years now.
And I'm pretty new to the scene, only since about the end of 2011, but I have been formally initiated into the tradition of living vampirism.
We met each other about a year ago.
Yes! It's so cute. We met actually on Valentine's Day in New York City at a chocolate bar. Oh God, you're so pretty, especially with this. And she looks... That's our new thing.
Sexuality is never a present theme in True Blood, but the Christinas to me just seemed like two chicks with the same name who like to make out. until they started to tell me in a very serious way about their roles as vampires.
Everybody is attracted to vampires. We represent everything that mortals want, eternal life, and if you've seen True Blood, forever, everlasting love. Vampires these days in the modern culture are all beautiful, gorgeous people, and so that's very sensual and erotic and very desirable. We use that's part of our glamour, that's part of our appeal for the mortals, for people we feed off of. There are more night side applications for vampire sensuality, vampire sex magic, things like that.
I picked up the literature, I read the books, and I thought it was garbage. I'm a very smart person. I was an honor student in high school, got great, awesome grades. So I think very scientifically and very logically. So I read the book, thought it was garbage, even told Father Sebastian I thought it was garbage. And then I went back through and I started testing all of the principles in there. And I started to be a little bit more open-minded. It sounds extreme, but if you think about it, every interaction you have with another person is an exchange of energy, whether it's a kiss, whether it's a touch of hand, whether it's a hug, whether it's just a glance with another human being. So tonight, we're doing a centered ritual, and this is to raise the energy of the family, to increase the vibrations of the family, so that the current keeps flowing.
I couldn't tell if they were serious, but it soon became clear that they were when Father Sebastian started directing the voodoo ceremony rehearsal, which resembled more of a steampunk fetish-driven sex play.
Okay, go through the rehearsal now, the modifications. I want to watch it, okay? And then afterwards, we'll see what it is.
As I place this dagger upon your neck, it is better that you should rush upon it than enter without love and loyalty. How do you enter?
With love and loyalty.
You don't need to do this part yet, just bring them on.
Proceed. Hail Elarath!
Hail Elarath!
You got to tell the audience why we're here, what the ritual is, why we're doing it. You got to tell them, you got to educate them, because these people don't know what's going on. They don't know that they're food for gods. Oops. So it is done.
So it is done!
Good.
Crack, crack, crack.
Ask them to join you in the howl. Ladies and gentlemen, join them in the howl.
I'm starting to get into this vampire thing, so I'm going to put in some white contacts so I fit in with the rest of the group. I already have my fangs. Whoa! How does it feel? So creepy. Oh, I'm scaring myself. I don't even want to look in the mirror. The guests of the Endless Night Vampire Ball flooded the theater in a wide variety of costumes.
Open the gates, Papa! Open the gates, Papa Legba! Open the way.
This is the time for the Day of the Dead, All Souls Day, when you pray for those on the other side. It's been a mascot, a growing spirit energy that Sebastian has contacted me about for several years, that he thinks was a child, a spirit child, an egregore, if you will, that has manifested and worked alongside with their Endless Nights, balls and rituals and everything that goes on with it. Voodoo's a dance religion and a musical religion, so that helped dance him into sort of a lifting deification.
I like this world because people are crazy, because people have beautiful costumes, and this mix of beautiful costumes makes something magical. You know what? When you go in Endless Night Party, you see people who want to be actor, who want to play something. American people want to play something, French people want to play something, but finally, this act is a representation of something different, and they just want to express themselves.
One of the Sabretooth members distinguished what she considered to be real immortal vampires from dedicated role players of a subculture.
As a real phenomenon, I don't believe vampires are real. And I believe there are people today who indulge in a vampire lifestyle, and I believe that has a different meaning. So vampires do exist in the sense there are people living a lifestyle where they call themselves vampires, but it's not your traditional vampire. They're not going to burn in sunlight. You're going to see their reflection in a mirror. They can eat and enjoy garlic. It's a different sort of thing. This is a new way, sort of lifestyle that's come about. When I think of a vampire, and I think of it traditionally, I do think of blood drinking. And I think that's more because I share an old world value of a vampire, which is quite different. The reason that so many modern vampires would say it's bad is because of health implications. Obviously, it's not exactly safe to bite someone, but then again, the vampires that I have seen practice blood taking have done it in a very responsible manner. It's a bit controversial, actually, in the vampire world, believe it or not.
I'd like to interrupt. Was there a discussion about blood drinking?
Yeah, there was.
Okay. What it means today to drink blood is suicide. That's what it means. Okay. Blood drinking is the most highly dangerous activity you can do. It is not vampiric. It is a fetish, which should remain between consensual couples. It should not be a prolific thing for feeding on energy. And in fact, it is opposite of vampirism. True vampirism is the consumption of human life force.
I was making the exact same point.
Yeah. I had to interrupt.
Yeah.
The Sabretooth clan is very concerned with this because the real vampire community has made so much trouble for us over the years.
No, you made that very
and we need to be very cautious of it.
She asked me a question about blood drinking. At no point did you tell me I couldn't talk about that. And if you had, I wouldn't have.
If I was aggressive about it, I have to be, because I have to be very protective of this
And
community.
for the record, everything I stated on film pretty much agrees with what you were saying.
Excellent.
And it's on film. So.
Father Sebastian ran a tight ship the whole night, and then came time for the much anticipated ceremony they had rehearsed for over the course of a full year. As the Endless Night Vampire Ball wound down, I concluded that perhaps more than anything, these howling, semi-nude steampunks showed us the transformative power entertainment can have over young fanatics.
I don't consider myself the king of vampires, even though a lot of people call me the king of the vampires. I don't like that title. I have a cowboy hat, not a crown. I'm the founding father. I like to, it's like George Washington didn't want to be king.
Yeah.
I don't want to be king.
Okay.
I want to be the dad.